Let's get more on this now with Sami al-Arian. He's the director of the Center for Islam and Global Affairs at Istanbul Sabahattin Zaim University. Really good to have you back with us, sir. Steve Witkoff announcing the second phase of this deal, and that's despite ongoing Israeli violations on Gaza. Does this push to progressing the deal strengthen diplomacy when it comes to Gaza, or does it risk normalizing the violence in the enclave?
Well, the problem is that since over 100 days now, or almost 100 days, there hasn't been any real push towards solving the real roots of the problem. The real root of the problem here is the occupation, is the fact that the Gazans have been under a crippling siege now for over 17 years. No one is addressing these issues. And even on the issue of that they were bargaining genocide and Trump being the owner of Gaza, basically, even on that score, he promised so many things. None of them have been fulfilled. We're talking about aid trucks, we're talking about medical aid, reconstruction, even in the midst of a very, very severe winter and cold right now. They have not been provided with tents or even caravans to take care of that. And we're talking about also a daily violations in terms of killing Palestinians. We are in a low-level genocide, a mass murder that is amounted to close to 500 people in less than 100 days.
The US plan hinges on disarming Hamas, something that the group has consistently rejected, saying that Palestinians in Gaza continue to face threats from Israeli attacks. In realistic terms, who has the leverage to make that happen, and at what cost?
It's not going to happen. I mean, Hamas and the other resistance groups never pledged that they will disarm. And what is happening here is really a diversion tactic. If you go back on September 22nd, the whole world was talking about the Palestinian state. 160 nations recognized Palestine. And then a day later, on September 23rd, Trump comes with his 20-point plan to change the conversation. And basically what he's doing is taking agency from the Palestinians. He is trying to say that the Palestinians have no political rights, that this is only a humanitarian crisis that is trying to resolve. And even on that score, he hasn't been able to deliver much. So to try to get what the Israelis couldn't get militarily, to get it politically, is not going to happen. If they're going to hinge the future of Gaza on trying to disarm Hamas and the others, and if that doesn't happen, they're going to go back to genocide. That's just a farce. And what it is again, not following with the promises that were given to the Palestinians.
A technocratic Palestinian administration is being proposed as an alternative to Hamas. Can such a body gain legitimacy among Palestinians in Gaza, given that elections won't be taking place to elect that body, and the lack of sovereignty for Palestinians right now?
That's exactly the problem. You just put your finger on it, is that this technocratic committee is being looked at not legitimate, but it's something that has been imposed on the Palestinians. And if they're not going to be able to deliver because they lack sovereignty, they lack any kind of legitimacy, they didn't come through elections, they're going to be dictated by the Americans and the Israelis. And for the most part, they may not be able even to deliver on much of that, because Israel's goals here are not to make Palestinians live again in Gaza. They destroyed Gaza so that they can force the Palestinians out. And if every decision is going to be vetoed, or every decision is going to require an Israeli acceptance, then none of that would happen. And therefore, we're not expecting much, unfortunately, out of this. And if you look at the composition is not the problem, because most of these people are technocratic, but they don't have this mandate in which they can actually lift the sanctions, lift the siege, if they can actually deliver real aid. Trump is not going to be able to do any of that, because it's still subject to the Israeli dictates.
What about this so-called board of peace that's being proposed under this deal alongside this technocratic administration? Who do you think should be on that board, and how effective will it be in ensuring that the ceasefire progresses?
I don't think there should be a board at all, regardless of who is there. The one who's dictating the composition and the members of that board is Trump himself. And who's Trump to declare himself as the president of the world and the president of the peace board, and to be in charge of Gaza, while he is complicit and he is a partner to a genocide that the Palestinians have been suffering now for over 2 years. So in my view, that what should be done is actually going back to even the pre-2023 situation where Palestinians are in control of Gaza, and also that they are able to lift the siege in order for Gazans to rebuild their lives. But for Trump to come and try to impose himself and try to dictate to the Palestinians their future, and to say that this is a humanitarian problem, not a political problem, that's the crux of the problem right here, that he is trying to avoid, because he is basically beholden to his Israeli partners.
Okay, Sami, al-Arian, we'll have to leave it there. Really good to get your analysis as always. Thank you.